everybody. It's me, Miss Danielson, your art teacher, and I am here for another lesson in art. Now, we skipped last week, didn't we? We didn't have art on Thursday, but we're back this week, and I hear that you are learning about, do you know? Your theme this week is polar bears. Ooh, polar bears are so cute. In fact, I just got some new polar bear pajamas and I almost wore them. And then it was like, wait a second, I can't wear my pajamas to teach if it's not pajama day. So I'll show you them later, though. I'm not going to wear them. I'm just going to show them to you. Okay, let's get started so that we can get to the drawing. So, as you remember, we always want to get our brain in a positive frame of mind with a little self talk. So, repeat after me. I am an artist. I am a creator of ideas and a solver of problems. Sometimes the problems are on my paper. Sometimes they're with my neighbor. Sometimes they're inside of myself. But I know I can solve problems because mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow. And I am proud to be an artist. And I am proud of you for working so hard with your art and all of the other things that you're learning this year. Even if I haven't met you yet, I'm proud of you. I know you're working hard. Mrs. Allen tells me that every day. Okay, polar bears, let's get to it. You know, you guys always, I feel like, inspire me to learn new things, to investigate about art that I might not know anything about. And this was exactly the same situation. So I Googled polar bear art, and I was not surprised by this. So the word at the top here is Alaska. Alaska. Has anyone ever been to Alaska? I have not, but I have a good friend that lives there. Alaska is a state, like we live in Washington state. Alaska is also a state, but it's very far up north. I'm pointing up, even though that doesn't make sense. I'm thinking about a map in my head. It is very far north, which means it's further away from the equator, which is where the sun revolves around our Earth. So it's colder there, which is great for polar bears because they thrive in a cold climate, like in cold weather. Now, Alaska used the polar bear in this artwork to convince people to come and visit Alaska. And it's a beautiful work of art. And come on, how cute are those polar bear cubs? They are so cute. I've only seen a polar bear in the zoo, in the Tacoma Zoo. Oh, I think I've seen one in the Seattle Zoo too. But it's so different thinking about them in their actual habitat. It's very cool. All right, here's another work of art. I love this one. It's very simple. In fact, I knew what I was going to teach you before I saw this painting. And this painting reminds me a lot about the shape that we're going to use when we draw a polar bear. We're going to do two different drawings today. And one will look like this. So front on, and we're seeing their shoulders and their front legs and definitely their face. Super cool. Now this was interesting. I just learned this. So this lady, her name was Grace Schabel, and she was actually a lawyer in Alaska. She was also something called the Attorney General. It's like the lawyer for the whole state. And she collected one of the world's largest collections of polar bear art. Can you believe it? She must have really loved polar bears. So here's one of the pieces of art that she collected. She shared it with the University of Alaska so that people could come and look at them when they were at the school. So very cool. Here's some more of her art. I'll show you. So this is the poster from the show. Not like a show where anyone was singing and dancing, but where there was a lot of art all put together in one place so that people could walk through it and see all of the polar bear art that she collected. Here is one of the paintings. Isn't this beautiful? You can see that it started as a drawing and then it became a painting. Can you see the pencil lines in this painting? The lines that are skinny. That's what we're going to use today is a pencil. Just a plain old pencil and a piece of paper. And then if you have color, you could add color like this artist did. But with a polar bear, it's okay to just leave it white. Wow. I saw this and I thought for sure it was a photograph taken with a camera. And then I read, it's a painting, you guys. It looks so real. None of the paintings I've ever done look this real. The texture of the fur, even just that, all of the details, that little shiny spot in its mouth that is the tooth. For some reason, I didn't think polar bears were this fluffy. But maybe because I only see them in the water or wet when we're at the zoo. I know I'm not supposed to, but I really just want to snuggle up with this polar bear. Don't do that. If you ever meet a polar bear, don't snuggle with it. All right, what's next? Cool. Hey, do you remember a month ago we talked about sculptures where if art stands up and you can walk around it, it's called a sculpture instead of flat hanging on a wall? This is a sculpture. So we see the polar bear. I'm not sure if it's running or walking, but it's turning its neck and looking back over its shoulder. Do you think it's afraid? Maybe it's a polar bear who's checking on the cubs saying, are you with me? Don't fall behind. It's very cool. So this one does not have the same texture as that painting. It does not look fluffy. It looks actually very smooth. But that's just because the artist chose to make it look smooth. All right, what's next? Oh, action. Okay. Hey, thanks for looking at polar bear art with me. Now let's make some polar bear art. So we are going to draw a polar bear. I have two ways of doing it. This one is kind of the one I was just talking to you about. We're going to draw a big curve and then a circle and a smaller circle and a smaller circle to make the head with some ears and then half circles for those paws. So that's one way with the full body. And then we'll also just do a second one where we can focus just on the head and the face. Pretty cool. I almost wonder if we should do the head and the face one first. Should we? That's probably a good idea. Okay. If you are clicking through the slides, I will leave this picture in there. But if you're just watching the video with me, pay attention because I'm going to show you on this. I have the document camera now. I thought about drawing on the whiteboard, but sometimes I feel like it's hard to see when I do that. So we're going to try this, which means I'm going to switch out of the Google Slides, click on this little green button. Hey, my sweater. It almost looks like polar bear fur, doesn't it? All right, let's get this in the right place so that you can see my paper. And how's that? Pretty good? Okay, I have kind of a medium-sized piece of paper. It's not huge. But I think I have room for two polar bears on here. I'm going to put one right here and one over here. If you have got a piece of paper and a pencil, you're ready to go. If not, you might want to hit pause on this, grab your materials, and then come back and hit play again. So I'll wait for you, but you have to hit pause for me to wait for you. All right, here we go. We are going to draw that polar bear head. So it's as if it's coming up close to us. We're going to start at the bottom and make almost like a rainbow line. It curves up and it curves down. In fact, if you think about a giant finger, that's kind of what it looks like. Cool. Now, we're also going to add the ears. Whoops. 1 second. I'm trying to pause for 1 sec. But I think I have to shrink this down for just a little bit. Nope, I made it bigger. What am I looking for, you guys? Sorry about that. I'm having a little technical difficulty. But let's get back on track. Okay, here we go. So far, we've drawn what looks like a giant finger. And then we're going to add in the nose. Now, a polar bear's nose is part of its snout, but we'll just focus on the nose part first. You can just go with a simple oval shape if you want to. You can also draw a slight curve at the top, but then a bigger curve at the bottom. Nice. Okay. Next, we'll bring down, if you've looked at like a dog's face or a cat's face, they oftentimes have this little line that comes under their nose and then their mouth attaches to that. So we're going to draw a short line and then add your polar bear's mouth. Now it's up to you to decide, is your polar bear smiling? Is your polar bear frowning? Is your polar bear just kind of chill? I'm going to have my polar bear be kind of chill, although it looks happy, doesn't it? Looks kind of like a happy little polar bear. So a smile would have been a big curve, frown would have been a curve upside down. And now we're going to add in the snout. So polar bears have kind of how to describe it? A taller snout than a dog does, and even necessarily a cat. So it comes up. I know this is going to look a little weird at first. It's going to come over and then down. So it's almost a triangle, but it's not pointy. So it's kind of those angled lines like a triangle, but it's not pointy. And now we have to connect from one side of the nose all the way over to the other. So we're going to loop it way down and then come way up so that we connect to the bottom of that kind of triangle line. Now, I was a little bumpy. I have an eraser, so I'll fix it. Sometimes I don't fix those things. I just leave them. Looking cute. Now, polar bears' eyes are kind of small. I don't know why. Have you learned that yet? I don't know. I'm going to guess it has something to do with the fact that they can see underwater. And let's see, 1 eye, 2 eyes. I'm just using kind of circles or oval shapes for the eyes. And then I will add kind of a pupil inside there. A pupil means I'm just darkening it in. In the real world, polar bears' eyes are probably so small we can't even see that they have a circle in there. All right, what's next? Because it's looking a little bit silly, like a seal, which we know polar bears actually eat seals. So we better put some ears on here. The ears of a polar bear are rounded, but they also have some kind of straight edges. So they're curved, but not like a full circle. There's a straight line on there. They're not up on the top of the head, but they're not also down here by the eyes or the nose. They're up and over. So polar bear's ears, I'm going to add a smaller shape inside there. That's always just how I draw my bear's ears. I don't know why. Okay, ready for a second one? So we want to try to copy this shape which is hard to do. It's hard to make things that look the same. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. It's a little skinnier on this side. That's okay. And then copy the line in here. Pretty cute. I could say it's finished. If I wanted to, do you think I could add some lines in there for that wonderful fuzzy fur that looked like I just wanted to snuggle in it? I know that fur keeps them warm, but it looks so soft. So how did I draw the fur? Just lines. They're kind of like the letter N or Z or M, just zigzag lines. V, or actually that looks like a U, doesn't it? Pretty cute. Okay, this polar bear is just the head. Now we're going to use kind of some of the same lines, but we're going to put the whole polar bear body like it's walking toward us. So I'm going to scoot my paper over so we can see it. Somebody yell at me if my paper ends up moving over and then I'm hiding it behind my head. It'll probably happen. You gotta yell loud because I can't hear you. Okay, that was a bad joke. Are you ready? This shape we're gonna draw again, but a little bit wider. So instead of so skinny, we're gonna make it wider. Because now this is not just the head, this is the whole polar bear's body. There it is. Similar shapes though, right? But here's where we're changing things up. Inside this big curve or arc, we're going to add a circle. Now I have a circle trick and it involves what I'm doing right now, which is pretending. My hand thinks it's drawing a circle. I'm just going around and around and around, and when I finally feel like, yep, that's my circle, I'm just going to touch the pencil to the paper. And it works pretty well most of the time. That's not bad. I didn't quite match it right here. Now, if you don't like drawing a circle that way, that's okay. You don't have to. If you have something round, wait, I'm looking and looking and looking. I can't find anything round. Way over here. It's random. It's a bottle of lotion. But I could have traced that circle on the bottom of the lotion and made the head that way. But I decided it was okay just to kind of practice. Okay, so now we've got the head. Let's go in a different order. Let's put the ears on it this time. Ear, ear. I use the same shapes that we used in the last one. I'll copy that. It's going to take a second, I think, for your eyes to see this. Right now, it almost looks like a, what does it look like, you guys? Almost like a bird. Like this is its beak, and those are its eyes. But we know it's going to be a polar bear. So let's put its snout. If you want to use that same shape, you can. Or if you want to just add in kind of an oval, make it a little easier, you can do that too. Oh my gosh, now it looks like a frog with its mouth open. Oh man, when is this going to look like a polar bear? Right now, I bet you. Are you ready? We're going to put another oval inside, but this time the oval's going side to side. It's not tall, it's wide. And then I'm going to shade it in. And I hope that will be the nose. It's still looking strange. Let's get 2 eyes in position. There we go. Whew. I see a bear. That's what it needed, eyes and a nose. Now, if your nose on your polar bear is further down, that's okay. It just makes it look like its snout is tilting. So that's the fun part about this. I'll show you that picture in just a second, where the nose can change the look. Now I'm going to add that line again. It comes vertically down, and then I'll put the little mouth on there. Cute. This is looking like a polar bear. Okay. Now this is going to seem strange, but watch just for a second. Remember this shape we started with, almost like that rainbow arc? I'm going to put a little one in the middle down here. Okay, looks a little strange. But watch, now I'm going to put another one here and another one here. These become the paws. This becomes nothing. This is in between its legs. Now, if it's not cooking yet, let's put their little, what are those called, you guys? They're not really claws, but they're not really fingers either. Is it toes? I guess they are toes. Cool. So now, oops, I told you I was going to do that. So now we see the two paws, and this is like the leg, so one leg, and so that's in between. Oh, it's cute. All right, let me click over, go back, and I'll show you the picture. And because maybe, whoops, it's kind of hard. I can't see what I'm doing here. I have to look underneath this shelf, which has the camera on it, which means I'm doing weird things. There we go, polar bear. I think we did all right. Get that shelf out of the way. I can see you and you can see me. So, how'd we do? There's our polar bear head. Oh, where's the camera? There we go. And then let's see the one with the body. That is this one. Cute. I think they're super cute. I love our polar bear drawings. Thanks for having me teach you, but really I feel like I'm learning right along with you. All right, I promised. Polar bear pajamas. Look how cute they are. Look at all those polar bears all over my pajamas. Can you see them? So cute. All right, Mrs. Allen's class. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, you are artists, and if this was hard, that's okay. It's the only way we learn. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. If you want to add color, looking at this picture right here on the screen, the big one, you don't need to color your polar bear. If you color the space around the polar bear and leave the polar bear white, it will look much more realistic. So just like the picture on the screen, you could take crayons or markers, or if you have paint or whatever you have at home to add color, you could do the blue sky, or maybe do a purple sky, like the aurora borealis. Sometimes you see that in Alaska. And then you just leave the polar bear white. Easy peasy. All right. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Mrs. Allen and I are coming up with a plan on how I can at least say hello to you. It's coming. Okay, have fun drawing those polar bears. Once you learn how, you can keep drawing more and more and more, right? All right, have a great one.